A very good evening to all. We have got a very burning topic to discuss. We have got a GD on the topic Indian culture versus Western culture, which is good and why. So, myself Prajwal Pathak, and I'm pursuing computer science engineering. And yeah, I love Indian culture, but for the discussion, I'm in favor of Western culture for some points. So it's my pleasure that I am a part of this discussion. So let's get started. So as we know, there are different cultures in a world, and culture. What is culture? Culture is a way of life for a people, for a society, or for a country. There are many different cultures. Indian culture comprises of different cultures. They have different customs, languages, variety, and beliefs, their tradition, way of life, way of dressings, and their architecture. So what it makes India unique and beautiful. But if we talk about Western culture is a culture which is what we say that how can we say the culture which is followed by Western countries like USA, Canada, Spain, and Europe, etc. And it is considered to be modern, quite advanced, and open. So, but if we talk about in Indian culture, what the problem is in Indian culture, we believe prefer to live in families, but in Western culture, they believe to live in nuclear family. And if we talk about freedom of a woman in Indian culture, it is not allow women to work. They prefer women to work in a home as to do domestic chores. But in Western cultures, there is a independent woman. They have their choices. They have freedom to work, and they can wear anything if they are comfortable in it. We cannot force it. But in India, it is not allowed for women to do work. So that's a very we can say that disadvantages. And if we talk about Indian culture, if Indian culture is that much good, then why we are following Western culture? Why we are modernizing? Why we are Westernizing? Like we are Westernizing, we are also like in today we are families also live in nuclear family, and they also change their way of life, dressings, because Indian culture have the dressings like tradition, dhoti, kurta, and many more. But we are heading towards modernization. That's why we are adopting Western cultures also. Why we are adopting this to compete with other countries in the development. That's why we are adopting that, because if it is not good, then why we are learning, and why we are speaking their languages, and why we are changing our habits and way of life living, architecture also changing in country. So that's why Western culture is good at some points. So that's my point. Now I would like others to share their points.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nisha Danga. Uh, I would like to introduce. I would like to express my view. I'm favor of Indian culture. As you spoke, we get we get equality from Western culture, but I don't think like that because in incident time Jyotiram Phule also got equality of women's, and even he sent his wife first time for studying, and they enhanced many prathas like sati pratha, and they spread equality among society in our country.
You said now world is changing, India is changing with its primitive thinking. So the primitive thinking and our old practices are comes under Indian cultures. In Indian culture, if one's husband died, then the wife also had to burn with along with his her husband her husband. So it is in Indian culture. But if we talk about Western culture, it is not that, and we are evolving. Why we are adopting their culture? Laws are not derived in this, they are derived from Western culture. Equality among people, and yeah, untouchability or that much are eradicating from our society. Why? Because we are modernized. I think we are heading towards.
I don't think is there a need to go towards the under developing from the developed. Now Western culture is developing itself, and Indian culture is totally developed. So I don't think is there a need. If we talk about the destiny, we have everything regarding now what is Western culture is doing. It is changing our mindset. And what is the strength of India? That is the unity in diversity, which comes from the Indian culture. Indian culture makes us understand to live together, help in the need, and that is the instinct of India. So I think is there a need to go towards the Western culture?
That the India is
Indian
developed.
developing.
India culture is developed. You said that, na. So why I have a question for you. Why there is a need arises to women employment, skill development, and unity? And there are some major problems in India that now India is facing. That is unemployment, literacy, and child labor, and women's safety. And you talk about the diversity. We all know that India is famous for their diversity and unity. But nowadays there is only diversity in unity, and most of the people are mostly focused on the religious part, like Hindu to Muslim, Muslim to Hindu. And there's many languages that spoken in India, and there's many dresses that wore in India, and there's many food that is available in India, variety of foods. We are diverse from each and everything in India. Okay, if we are adapting good things from Western culture to make the India developed, then that's not a bad thing. Okay, so India is not yet developed yet. India is underdeveloping country which is developing.
I want to add some points that he said, and you said that unity in diversity. Yeah, it sounds good, but if we talk about bitter truth is, like, we know that Indian culture comprises different religions like Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, and Christianity, and Sikhism, etc. So, uh, but you said unity in diversity, they live happy, but yet they live happy? No, because we are seeing that in today's generation there are many religious violence, inequality, reservation. So how you can say that unity in diversity, they are living happy together? Yet in Western countries, mostly the people belongs to Christianity, they follow the same religion. That's why there is no need, there is, that's why there is no violence. So that makes the Western culture plain, I think. Or that, or in India there are many festivals. I'm don't saying that there are many festivals, I'm not hating that, it's good, but due to the various festivals we celebrate, so it also, what we say, it also hindered our, I think, work. In Western culture there is no that much we can say that festivals, they are focused on work as well as their development. If we talk about ye caste system and this religion, multi-religion system, multi-diversity, there is so much race of different religions, and what we say that violence and inequality, and our and say our religion is superior. So it hindered development. That's my point.
First thing is that Indian culture has a very handsome ability to adapt itself according to the climate. So what as we see now, India is developing in technology area, and but with that we didn't change our ritual, we didn't change our religion. During the Harappan civilization, that was the Shiv was the our best gods. Since until now, Shiv is the biggest lord in Indian culture. And what, if we talk about what the Western culture gave us, except the our dressing sense, apart from that, I don't think Western culture did, gave us any other thing. Okay.
Okay, my name is Jitin Pratap Singh, and my point of view, I think Western countries is want to accept here their religion, not culture. But this is not possible to adapt any religion. So he want to adopt. So he want to people accept his culture. So he is slowly converting in the our religion. Because here I have one example. Here Western culture is provide many types of fashion, because of fashion for the men's and women in India. Here is first he provide the genes, but genes is not in Indian cultural part. Here he is provide firstly genes, and then he will change the fashion to cut scratches and cuts the jeans in also new fashion after 1 2 years, and then he provide the jeans like a not fully cut stretched and cutted cutted, and then he is slowly converting our converting into westernization. So he want to adapting only western culture, so he is slowly convert into western culture, like if I think.
Good evening to everyone. My name is Sahil Singh and I'm with the Indian culture. As this is the reality that we are adapting the Western culture in nowadays. But what Western culture is giving us, I think Western culture is just decreasing our manners, and just they are, because they are giving any kind of dress code. We are just following the Western dress code besides of Indian dress code, because we know that Western dress code has not so much type of discipline are there, and in Indian culture I think there are some manners, and in Indian culture we have, just if we talk about the welcoming of the guest, then we can welcome with the both hands. We can adapt the guest with full open heart. But I think in the Western culture it is not so kind of that. And in Indian culture there are lots of variety of foods, there are lots of variety of languages are there, and just like in Indian culture or Western culture, they are the liberty of wearing anything, but that is not so good if our elders are sitting in front of us. But in Indian culture, we can just adapt our clothes as per the situation.
So, Sahil said that Western culture spreading nudity and filthiness. But I'll let you know that 2 points. First point is that it's all about the mindset, how people treat the other person. And second thing is that according to Article 19, 2021, it's our right what we want to wear and we can wear.
So okay, then I am also say that our article our 51A, it is protecting our release our country religion, our country culture, to protect our culture. Says
How Western culture
But-
is destroying your Indian culture.
because it is not respect our elders. This is slowly
It's all about
it is
the mindset.
This is not a mindset. It
It's
is
all
a
about the parents teaching the manners.
it is the spared. It is a
How parents treat them. But it's not about the Western culture.
Now in the entire world, thousands of people are adopting Indian culture. Okay, as you told about the Western culture, besides the dress code, Western culture didn't give anything. If I talk about the infrastructure, Western culture did that infrastructure now a few years ago. But in Indian culture, 5,000 years ago, we have a brilliant infrastructure. We have the grid pattern roads, like huge drainage system. Okay.
I say one more example for that. You think that in India, if any happy incident happen with women, here many peoples take a candles and candle march. This is not in our Indian culture. Here, this is the one most example. If any woman have attacked by any other person, so our Indian has.
Let me discuss another point apart from this. One point is there also that in Western culture, parents leave their childs to face the society, and face the mentality of society and how to survive in life ahead. So they got the chance of maturity in early ages. But if we talk about in Indian culture, parents don't allow their child, they are in supervision of their parents child. So if we talk, even if they are in early 20s, they live in parents with parents, so they don't have that much what we say maturity, mentally maturity, how to survive in life and what is life about. So they don't have idea about how to survive. So that's my point.
Indian culture is best because Indians people cares all nature things because of they think that that rivers, trees, stones are called gold. Uh, according to this, uh, uh, according to this, people's cares that things which is made by God.
Hello everyone, my name is Gungun Jain, and in my opinion, both the cultures are best at their places because nowadays, as we seen that Indian culture is adopting Western cultures like equality in men and women and clean line acts, etc. And also the Western culture is adopting the Indian culture, like they are eating our food, and most of the Western peoples wear our Indian clothes for fashions, etc.
As you spoke, then we learn English language and others language. Then we get other language by Western culture. But I think it's not a part of our culture. We already have many. I think thousands of languages.
Indian culture, the main language is Sanskrit, which is not spoken in India. That is the ancient. But the speaking according to Indian culture, that is our language. Okay. You want to discuss on language? You want to discuss on language? So listen. There are thousands of languages.
It's our skills. It's our skills. It's not a part of our culture.
If we talk about that language, then there are thousands of languages that spoken in India. Okay. And if a person from India goes to Madras and Kerala, they are not able to speak their languages. Because of that, because of overcome that problem, India adopt the Western culture language, English. Yeah. Communicate with the world.
It's our skill. We get increase our skill. That's why we learn English language.
Yeah.
We get increase our skills. That's why we learn English language.
That's what I'm saying. We are adapting. If we are showing something good, we are adapting. If Western culture is showing something good to you, then you should adapt. And Indian culture is showing, yes, we are adapting. We want to develop.
And I wanted to say one thing, as he said that in Western culture, parents give the freedom to their children. But I think there are chances if parents can give the any liberty at the early ages, then it is a chances to be that child can do anything by going outside. There's a chances of crime also, because if we, as we are looking that now environment are not so good nowadays. So
It's up to people and their mindset, openness.
no, if there is a right time, then we can give the chances. But you are saying that at early age, before teenagers, they are giving the chances. I think that is not good.
Who changed the mindset? Who changed? Not. It is a Western program, Western TV serial. It changed the mindset. Many take crime. Many people take crime for the seeing the web series of the Western and the English series. You say that here one bank robbery like a money heist. This is our other country's culture. He is trying to heist money from the bank like a money heist.
You want to talk about the crime? Listen, you want to talk about the crime? You all know that in India there are thousands of languages that are spoken, and if a person wants to go to other state like Kerala, Madras, Chennai, and he don't know that language, then he is not able to talk with that person. To overcome with that problem, India adopt the Western cultural language, that is English.
I think this is a not proper way, because we see that China, all countries spoke China and speak China.
But we are
and
discussing on a Indian culture, Western
but
culture.
but
Not discussing about the China.
Yes.
but here many people belong many types of religion, like it is a different from a.
They have their own language.
Like Korea, they don't know English that
Yeah,
much.
they are
Good evening, everyone. My name is Madhu Gupta. I am favoring of Indian culture because Western culture values. Western culture emphasize individual freedom, while Indian culture they values family and communities. I have other point. Western culture has a Western culture are common for love marriage with a small family, but in Indian culture, Indian people marry with arranged marriage and with big family and.
Hello everyone, my opinion is India yoga and Ayurveda popular in the whole world, and Indian culture oldest culture, and Indian culture is best culture.
Please lending me your ears. अरे यार. Please lending me your ears. As we are known, Indian culture is very oldest culture. We consider we consider many of the things like Western culture also adapt many things like many Western persons come to Mathura Vrindavan, and then they get dresses, they get Indian dresses, and they feel comfortable, and we also feel comfortable in Indian dresses, and we have the opportunity to wear the many dresses. And in Punjabis they wear kurta salwars, and I think pagdi also, and many of the person who wear cap of embroidered cap in Kashmir, Leh, Ladakh, and so we have the many opportunity. And Surya Namaskar. And Surya Namaskar is also part of our Indian culture. Like many of the disease can get rid of many disease by Surya Namaskar. Like you get glow over skin. You get you increase our mind level, power, brain level. So it's good for our Indian culture.
In Indian culture, we can say, in Indian culture, we treat guests as a god. In Hindi, Atiti Deva Bhava. People respect our elders, and
I would like to include some points like we are the part of G20. G20. So we are our motive is Vasudev. It's also part of Vasudev Kutumbakam. We enhance the Vasudev Kutumbakam our world, because I think
In Indian culture, we can take many types of food because of many festivals. Because Indians people celebrate many festivals like Holi. On Holi, we can on Holi we make gujiyas and
if we have water which filled in copper utensils, then we get increase our reduce our metabolism, and we get like silver jewelries. So it's all so it's get it's increase our blood circulation, so it's good for us, and Indian culture is also good.
And present time we are we are adopting a Western culture. Due to this, India is facing on the high level scale poverty rate. And in the past, in the ancient India, we used to do our Indian culture totally, and now that time India used to hold 1/4 of world's economy. And now if we talk about health sector, now the entire world is adopting the yoga. Day by day it is getting increased, which comes from Indian culture. Yes, as you said, we are fighting in the region of Hindu Muslim, like our Indian culture never make us understand, never taught us to fight on the basis of religion. When British come, spread the Western culture, and they spread the hate to fight on the basis of religion. So our Indian culture never make us understand, our never taught us to fight with them.
Indian culture never taught you that, and Indian culture is so good. Like you all know, aware about the Manipur case. Manipur is burning in fire, and not Manipur like Rajasthan, and North India is half submerged in water. But the more debatable topic for Indians is Seema has it come from Pakistan or is an ISI agent or not? Yeah.
Anju is
I would like to tell you why it is happening, why Manipur is burning, because of the categories. Our Indian culture categorizes on the basis of our birth, but Western culture made us understand how to divide their categories on their birth. And now Methi and the Santali community are burning due to their categories to come in under the SC and OBCs out from OBC. So SC OBC, it was not the part of Indian culture. That comes from the Western culture, that was spreaded by Britishers.
Okay. So can we start on conclusion or not?
No. Yeah. We have problem.
Okay.
So conclusions are there.
No, I have some points.
Okay.
Regarding conclusion. No, besides conclusion. So I want to little talk about the marriages. Just like if I talk about the Western culture, then there is a freedom of doing any kind of marriage, just like anytime we want, and there is no support. I think not much support of the parents in the Western culture, but in Indian culture, there are some proper methods by which the weddings takes place. Just like we have the proper support of the parents, and just like we have the all the financial supports are there also in the Indian culture marriages, and there are some mostly cases in the Western culture are of the divorce are there. There are many cases of the divorce in the Western culture because people choose their partners and they have just the disputes in their relations. But yeah, there are lots of affair also, and just like in Indian weddings, there is not kind of any kind of their cases. The marriages takes place for the longer time. Okay.
You're talking about divorce. Yeah, in India culture it is not that, because in India culture there is no divorce. They have to spend their whole life with wrong person. If they are married, if they have mistakenly married with wrong person, arranged marriage, in arranged marriage we don't have the right, if person is right or wrong, we have to spend whole life with him or her. So in Western culture we have the right to choose our partner. If we are mature enough, then why we can't choose our right one? So that's my point.
You spoke then Western culture. We give freedom for getting married, but I think it's not right for it's not right for us, because we organize some swamvar, and we give liberty to choose their partners. So it's also part of our Indian culture.
I would like to also ask you what the Western culture brought in India. So India got help to improve
The railways brought by Western culture.
The prime example is, so okay. Okay, now I would like to conclude that every culture had different values. Every culture is good and different in their own. Every have their pros and cons. I don't think they are all are good. Indian culture is also good at their own. They have different customs, values, heritage, tradition, but and as well as Western culture is also good. It both have different, what we say,
What are different kinds of their specialties?
yeah, specialties, we can say that both kind of specialty. The Western culture gave us why we are upturning, because Western culture gave us technology, modernization. We are heading towards modernization. We have to that's why we are adopting their culture to compete the world. That's why. That's a conclusion. Okay.
जय हिंद जय भारत, प्राउड टू बी इंडियन, इनकलाब जिंदाबाद।